Welcome everybody, it is Sunday the 17th of July 2022 and we are live from New Zealand for the NZ Travel Show.
Yes, this is Robin and I'm Laura and we're the team behind NZPocketGuide.com, which is New Zealand's largest travel guide because it literally has thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan the perfect trip to New Zealand now that the borders are officially going to be open to everyone by the beginning of August. Very exciting times. So now is the perfect time to start planning your trip to New Zealand, but maybe not quite for today because it is literally the coldest day in New Zealand so far. It's -2 degrees Celsius currently where we are, and that's about 28 degrees Fahrenheit, just so you know. So yeah, it's pretty cold right now, but yeah, now is the perfect time to start planning for an upcoming trip to New Zealand, which you can do for 100% free on nzpocketguide.com. Otherwise, if you're not really into reading, this is what the NZ Travel Show is all about. You guys can come onto the live chat and ask your New Zealand travel questions directly to the experts, and we go through every single comment on the live chat, so make sure you
At least we try to. Sometimes we get overwhelmed, but usually we try to.
Yeah, so ask your questions, but if you do miss the live show, no worries. You can always put your questions in the comments section of any of our YouTube videos and we will respond pretty promptly.
Yes. All right, so we're starting this morning with Prince Don saying how to apply a visa. So you need to head to immigration.govt.nz. There's a link in the description of this video. It's the official New Zealand immigration website, and in there you'll be able to find everything about your path as well as the application process.
We have Extreme Talauta saying, Morena guys, Morena Extreme Talauta, I hope you are not on the rugby field right now. Oh yes. My God, it is so cold.
Yes, and for our viewers which are not in New Zealand, Morena means good morning in Maori, which is the local indigenous language here in New Zealand. Tamo, another one of our lovely Patreon supporter, says very good evening. He's all the way in Estonia. Do you have a special message for Natasha by any chance?
Oh yes, congratulations
on your wedding,
Natasha.
Yeah, we saw some of your wedding pictures on the Patreon group. So yeah, everybody, can you say congratulations to Natasha in the live chat? She just got married a couple of days ago, so yeah, it's all fresh. She's a freshly wed. I think they say newlywed.
Newlywed, not freshly wed.
Freshly wed. There you go. All right, what is happening to Nathan, Baith?
Nathan says Morena from Christchurch.
Finally, Nathan is in Christchurch after a month of asking us about planning things in Christchurch, things to do in Christchurch and everything. So Nathan is the local. He's living usually in Taupo. And so, yeah, finally, Nathan is in Christchurch. That's exciting. So we want to know what you're doing over there, because you ask us so many times the question. I think we gave you at least 50 different options. So we are dying to know what have you done and what you are planning on doing. Sorry, I'm holding a hot cup. It is really cold today.
Really cold.
Yeah, so we would like to know, yeah, what are you doing?
He says, I'm having a great time here in Christchurch with the activities. Give us more specifics, Nathan.
Which
ones? What are you doing? Natasha says, thank you, with a nice little love face. And then we have...
I don't think she's going to take in anything we're saying today anyway. She's on a little cloud.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
if you just got married...
It's impossible to talk to newlyweds, isn't it?
Yeah. I think she's just all happy right now. She's not going to take in anything.
We have another one of our Patreons, Christina Holden, saying, Morena all, I can't pick all of the above in the... Oh, sorry, I can't pick all of the above in the question of the day. I know that's a little bit of downside to the question of the day.
Yeah, we always have to... There's no option on YouTube to give you multiple answers, right? So you've got to pick one. You've got to be your main jewel. I should have worded the question, what is your main jewel? But let's say it's your main jewel. Anyway, before we read the next comment, let's talk about the question of the day. May as well. Ooh, question of the day.
Ooh.
Wow, question of the day.
Yeah.
Whoa, question of the day.
Woohoo.
There you go. That's the question of the... All right, so the question of the day today. So every single week, I ask you a question in the poll section of the YouTube live stream, and we just like to pick the hive mind. Okay, so today the question is, what is the main thing that makes you want to visit New Zealand? So is it the nature, the culture, the food, or the activities? let us know. Make sure you vote, and at the end of this hour, we're gonna have the result, and we'll know what is the very obvious answer to this question. All right, let's go back. Natasha is getting a congratulation from Christina as well. And from Lawrence, which is one of our newest Patreon subscriber, which is awesome. Thank you for popping in another time, Lawrence. That's awesome. She says the pictures were really nice. Loved your dress. Yeah, she posted some really awesome pictures in our Facebook group. She had like made it flow and everything, and it just looks so fabulous. Looks whimsical. I like that word lately. Okay, Jusky1. Ooh, that's been a long time, Jusky. What is Jusky having to say?
Says, good afternoon, everyone, from New Jersey, USA.
Is it warmer than 28 degrees Fahrenheit where you are? If it is, please box up some sun and send it to us. What is a Kiwi backyard gardener having to say? Oh, Laura is currently a Kiwi backyard gardener. We've done a lot of gardening this week.
Yeah, I might have to check out your channel if you do have any videos on that. Saying, OMG, the sun's out today on the Hauraki Plains.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So, we actually had, and I think this is why it's really cold, right? So we had like a big period of like about 2 weeks, let's say, about like really intense rain.
Yeah.
And for the last 2 days, actually, I don't know for you Kiwi backyard, but literally yesterday was a stunning day as well for us. So so we're finally having a couple of good days, but that means that because we don't have cloud cover, then it gets really cold, and so the temperature had dramatically dropped. Like literally we lost like 10 degrees Celsius within 2 days. That was like really intense.
Yeah.
What is Extreme Talota having to say?
Extreme Talota says, I want a break from rugby league today as I've spent Saturday, Sunday last week and Wednesday and yesterday doing it. I think today is the perfect day to not have to get onto the rugby field today. I think it would be all frozen over, right? That would be a pretty hard fall if you...
Also, we went for a run yesterday with Laura, and she can barely move right now. So there you go.
Yes.
Okay, we have MD that says, hello again from hotter than hell, Texas.
Oh.
Please box up some sun and send it to us. We are frozen. Look at us like holding a hot drinks right here. And so MD is probably voting for activities and saying kayaking is their main draw. That's cool. I like that. I like kayaking. There
are
really cool.
Plenty of places for kayaking in New Zealand, that's for sure. Between the rivers, the lakes, around the coast. Yeah,
I mean, for the New Zealand rivers, if you want to do river, like whitewater kind of kayaking, you've got to have skills because they're really kind of raging, and also a lot of them are in very remote areas, so you don't have that much emergency services and rescue and all that, so you've got to really know what you're doing, tell someone your plans, be really prepared for that. But when it comes down to sea kayaking, it's pretty mellow, and there's really a lot of tools and everything that you can join.
I think sea kayaking tends to be one of the, between the sea and the lakes, tends to be the sort of kayaking people prefer in New Zealand.
Yeah. All right, so what is Lawrence having to say?
Lawrence says 29 degrees Celsius in Boston
right now. Oh, look at that. An American that takes the time to say it in Celsius. I appreciate you, Lawrence. You are awesome. You are awesome.
Just packed some sun. It's on its way. It should be there in 2 to 3 months. Probably where we don't really need it anymore, but that's fine.
That's the joke. The season's okay. Hello, Robin, by the way, and everyone here. Nice one. MD actually is talking about whitewater kayaking. That's cool.
Oh, wow.
We are really big fan of whitewater rafting, actually, to be quite fair. But it's more of a team effort, so you may like to be more independent and not have to deal with those people at the back that don't.
And we are also newbies, so we probably would never go whitewater kayaking because you do have to be pretty skilled for that, pretty experienced. But for non-experienced people like us, whitewater rafting is really awesome in New Zealand.
Actually, you should watch our video was it Mohaka? Mohaka River? You should watch our video of us doing a whitewater rafting on the Mohaka River. We got really lucky, and the tour ran with just the two of us and the guide. So we really had, and because we've done a lot of whitewater rafting tours, like dozens, and so we obviously still newbies because we don't have any licenses or anything like that, but we can have an understanding of what you need to do. And so the guide felt a bit more comfortable with us, and so we actually did quite some really gnarly sections, and we picked up a guy that was actually doing hunting in the bush, and it was just a lot. It's a really unique kind of that you'll see. So you should check out that video if you're interested in some of the whitewater rivers of New Zealand. Josky also is telling us that it's 28 degrees in New Jersey, and I'm estimating. I'm guessing that you're talking Celsius, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, because it's 28 degrees.
Because it's 28 degrees here, it's -2, and I'm pretty sure in New Jersey right now it's not -2, unless you're standing in a fridge, which it could be that could work, or in a freezer. Okay, what is Extreme Taluta saying?
Extreme Taluta says the female league starts at 1. Well, at least that gives some time for the sun to warm up the pitch a little bit.
Yeah, I'll be testing the new drone around that time.
Yeah.
Rafa Cat.
Oh yeah. No, not Lawrence. Did we miss Rafa Cat? Sorry,
yes,
we missed
Rafa Cat.
Sorry, Rafa Cat. Says, good morning, guys. We are having scorching weather in the UK at the moment.
Okay, everybody has to stop just making me jealous. Thank you very much.
Temperatures will hit 40 degrees this week. Wow, is that 40 degrees Celsius? I don't think it's ever been 40 degrees Celsius in the UK, has it?
40 degrees Celsius in the... Nah, that's nonsense.
And then says,
really?
How is New Zealand? Well, if you missed the beginning of the live show, we were talking about how cold it is. It's the coldest day of the year so far in New Zealand, being around -2 degrees Celsius.
Today where we are, it's -2, yeah.
Yeah.
It is probably colder on the South Island. We're just two wusses.
Yeah. In the central North Island, it is around -2 degrees Celsius, which is about 28 degrees Fahrenheit. In other words, very cold. Everything is very frosty. It was a clear night, so we woken up this morning to white everywhere, which is very picturesque, very nice. We're having an amazing sunset at the moment, amazing sunrise at the moment. But yeah, really cold. But it's, it's only one day of the year where it is kind of this cold, and then it comes with a lot of rain, and when the rain comes in, that kind of warms it up a little bit. So we don't mind the rain. All right, next up we have, where we are next, Robin.
Lawrence says she's not American, she's French actually. You'll have to force me to practice my French one day. I have not spoken French in way too long. Actually, I have a meeting this coming week with a guy which is based in France. And I am dreading having to speak French because I just don't practice it enough, and it's just And she said Boston has been my home for 22 years. Nice one.
Wow.
I like Boston a lot. Okay, Claire is giving us a Klingon salute. What's the
Vulcan?
Vulcan salute. Here you go. Okay, Nathan, he says they went. Okay, Nathan is telling us what he did in Christchurch after all those questions.
Let's go.
They went to the Antarctic Centre yesterday, and they plan on going to the Orana Wildlife Park.
Ooh.
Nice. Were there a lot of dogs in front of the Antarctic Centre? Sometimes the SPCA, sometimes the SPCA has a bit of a booth with husky dogs in front of the Antarctic Centre, which we always love.
Yeah, if you guys want to check out us going to the Antarctic Centre in Christchurch, we do have a video on this channel of us visiting that attraction, and
it's a little bit more mild than the Mohaka whitewater rafting tour that we did.
Yes.
Definitely a different vibe.
We do strive to do every single type of activity in New Zealand, so yeah, we do have a video on that. We do not have a video on the Orana Wildlife Park, however, but you can see some native animals there as well, I do believe. So it could be a good place to see kiwi birds.
Indeed. Okay, what is Clay saying? Lots of whitewater rafting and kayaking on the lake last week. And I think MD are chatting about the fact that they're insane and they're going nuts. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you watch, even Red Bull, sometimes they obviously do those videos of extreme sport and everything, and you see kayakers going down, and just in a hole that big, they have to crouch down. It's between the rock, and then jump down the waterfall and go down literally and just go with their kayak. Every time my heart is just falling. It's just crazy. I love it. For other people, not for me. Do not force me to do these kind of things, please. Tamo is mocking us, saying -2 degrees Celsius is considered mildly cool. Well, we are wusses, as mentioned.
I know that we do talk to a lot of people that live in much colder areas on the live chat, but we just let you know how it compares to New Zealand, and I suppose it is mildly cool compared to a lot of places.
I posted yesterday. We had to defrost the car, and I posted a quick video just as a joke on the Patreon, and obviously the Canadians came in and mocked us, saying it's night's cold.
You know nothing, you guys. You know nothing.
All right, Extreme Talota says He needs some break. He needs some break from the game. He's done the Maori tournament last week, but really still walk around in short and singlet. Yeah, I know. Some of our friends walk around, and like we had a mate coming over and he was barefoot, and he just, I don't understand it. I have wear 23 layers and he's barefoot. I
He's
know.
barefoot for outside, but puts socks on inside so he doesn't get his dirty feet inside. It's very considerate.
Yeah, I know. That was really considerate. And I was shocked because when he came in, he had the socks on. So I thought he forgot, he was like, what are you? He left my home, took off his socks and started walking. I was like, what are you doing? I got really confused. But kiwis are made of a different cloth. Let's be honest. All right.
We have an update for the weather in the UK from Robert Gusthart saying, yes, next Monday and Tuesday it's supposed to exceed 40 degrees Celsius in the South and Midlands of the UK. Woo!
Wow, are you guys cooking yourself? Or
Yeah.
Are you sick of being mocked because you're all pasty white and you just kind of all banding together to try to tan a little bit? What's the haps right here?
Times are changing in the UK. Time for the tans to happen. All right, we have Christina saying, we did a hike today and now about to play a board game as it's hot here, 31 degrees Celsius, and we will spend some time in the sun your way. Have a great day all. Going to play Underwater Cities, as I'm sure you are curious.
Yeah, okay, we actually are going to learn Underwater Cities from some friend of ours on the 30th of this month, actually.
It's a game we want to play,
yeah,
but
so,
we haven't had a chance yet.
We have two friends of ours that have Underwater Cities and they are teaching it to us literally at the end of this month. So we're pretty excited about that. If you have any strategy for me to track them, just send them my way so that I can trash them.
Robin doesn't need any strategies for games. He wins enough as it is.
What?
Nathan
There's never enough winning.
Nathan says, I have just sent some photos of some things from Christchurch. Nice.
I will check that out. I'm guessing it's on the Facebook page as a message, but yeah.
Robin will be on the case.
I'm on a case.
Lawrence says, do you guys ski? I feel that's a stupid question. Of course you do. We snowboard. We live near a ski field in the central North Island, which is on Mount Ruapehu. And Mount Ruapehu is the largest ski area in New Zealand, but most of the ski areas are actually in the South Island, where we have done a fair bit of snowboarding, not really skiing, but snowboarding in those areas as well. So yeah, if you've got any additional questions about that, Lawrence, then we are happy to tell you what we know. But yeah, we do certainly do a fair bit of snow sports in New Zealand.
All right, I don't know if how well can I show this, but here you go, New Brighton Beach. That's where Nathan currently is. You can also see the little tram from Christchurch as well on the photos. And nice New Brighton Pier, I'm guessing. It's New Brighton Pier, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. I'm always right.
Nice.
Nice one. Thank you, Nathan. I love that you guys sending us photos from time to time. This one was sent on Instagram. I was wrong. That wasn't on Facebook. I had to change.
You have to go through all the socials to find out where people might be contacting us.
Can we just get everything in the same place? Just one. We need to get people onto emails. Emails work.
Go back to old school emails.
Emails is the original social media. That works. Okay, where are we at?
We are with Baby Burns.
Sup, guys? We're doing all right. What about you, Baby Burns? What's the haps? How cool are you at the moment? Clay says, I have much sympathy for you guys up there. Yeah, he's mocking us. Clay is based in Dunedin, and I bet it's colder. But you're about to get some hot visits from Tamo, apparently. He may change his itinerary and show up in Dunedin. So here you go. The party is about to happen over there. I think some people are going to show up over there, and Clay's going to have to deliver on all those jokes. People are going to think this is the haps.
This is the place to come for a drink and have drinking games.
Yeah, he's going to have to represent the city. He's going to have to represent the city. All right.
Extreme Talahuta says, like socks and jandals. Robin does like his socks and jandals, actually. He goes out into the long grass in his socks and jandals and then comes into the house with soaking wet socks, which is, I find that really insane. Like, there's nothing worse than the feeling of
I
wet
need shoes
socks.
that I can put very quickly when I go in the garden, and it doesn't matter when no one sees me. It's my little secret. All right.
Yeah.
Baby Burn says super cool and breezy here in Indonesia compared to the usual yearly average temperature. Oh well, so it
nice.
looks like the weather is all over the place.
Yeah.
In short, global warming is real. Things is happening all over the place. MD says BBL go to go.
And get my frozen lemonade slushy.
Oh, okay. First up, I hate you. Second is what? Bye bye later, I guess.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think BBL. What does BBL stand for? Explain to the old man right here, please. Actually, this week, Laura asked me to Google the definition of the word woke. That is to tell you how old we are. I just want to point that out. Because I was telling her, I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like being aware of being very accepting and all that. But I didn't have like the real wording for it, so I had to Google to give it better. But Laura asked me to Google the definition of the word woke. So that gives you like which generation we are right here.
Yeah.
All right.
Christina says, enjoy. We are relearning it. I will share some tips with you, Laura.
What?
Thank you.
No!
I need a win.
Christina, why are you picking? And also, why does everybody pick Laura's side when there's a side to be picked? This is not fair.
I don't think you need to ask the question, Robin. It's obvious, isn't it? Lawrence says, in the US, at least in the Northeast, skiing is a luxury sport. I was lucky to grow up near Jura/the Alps in France, and I can't remember... Jura, in the Alps in France, and I can't remember lift ticket being crazy expensive. How is it in New Zealand?
Crazy expensive. Yeah, it is less expensive than it is in the US, from what I know the price, but it is still quite high right now. Like a ski pass for a day, for example, in our nearby ski field, how much would it be?
It would be around 100 New Zealand dollars a day.
For one person, one day. That doesn't include parking. You also have to pay for parking. Because they like to charge you for things. Anyway, so they like to charge you for things. Also, if you do need your gears, renting renting everything, you have to add that on extra as well. And obviously, but that if you are skied in France anyway, you do know that food and beverage and everything when you go on the ski slopes is always incredibly expensive as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is definitely not really that much. BBL is be back later. Got it now.
Okay. Thank you.
No, woke. WOKE. You're woke. That's the
kind of like the past tense of awake. I woke up.
Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
All right, Clay says he might need 2 days, though, one for activities and the other one to recover. Okay, so you keep on making super high promises right here. Okay, again, you have to deliver. Tamo, you had the promises right here. They charge for parking now, or just up there? There's different parkings. Is that correct? Right? There's different parkings where we are, right? And you have to pay for some of them, right?
Yeah. So for Maurupehu, if you want to actually park close to the ski field, then there is parking. It's more premium parking area. You do have to pay for it. But most people, it depends on their busy times of the year. So usually in school holidays, for instance, there may be some parking charges. But if you're just going up to Maurupehu, when it's a little less crowded, I think weekdays they don't charge you. I think the quieter weekends they don't charge you. It's changed every year. They're kind of trying new things everywhere. There was a time a couple of years ago where you had to book parking up there for every time you wanted to go and park, because they wanted to encourage people to use the park and rides to get up the mountain. So it's changing all the time, but there's
no matter what, they find ways to add fees so often. It's
yeah. So yeah, that is
greed is bad.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it is at Maurupehu. For ski fields like in Queenstown, if you're going to the Remarkables or Coronet Peak, you tend to not have to pay for parking up there. But if you want to take a bus, which is usually it's usually a kind of a better option if you're a little bit iffy about riding up to the ski fields where you might need snow chains, then the buses are usually, they're usually pretty expensive as well. So yeah, you have to bear in mind that you usually have to take transport to get to the ski fields in New Zealand. You don't tend to have accommodation in the ski fields where you just ski up to your room, it's not like in Europe in that way. You do have to consider transport costs.
All of us Europeans ski to our room every year.
Wait. Pretty much.
All right.
just ski through the window and hop into bed.
That's usually what you do.
Yeah.
Literally, like that's why you have the quick clips on the skis.
Yeah.
So literally, when you hit the wall of the window, you unclip.
Into bed.
Yeah, that's how it works.
That's the European experience, but not in New Zealand, unfortunately.
Oh my god. Okay, and all that nonsense. But it's good. It's good to talk about skiing in New Zealand, right? It's a big topic at the moment. Pretty much all the ski fields are now open.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much everything is open right now.
Just
so
starting
it's
to wake
big, yeah.
up, so they're kind of wake up.
They're woke. Those
They're
ski
woke.
fields.
So yeah, no, they're just like it's the beginning of the ski season in New Zealand, which tends to mean that only some areas of the ski fields are open, not all the ski areas. So if you were to come to New Zealand right now and do, say, 1 day skiing, just know that you would only have access to maybe a couple of trails and the beginners area at this point. All right.
Okay, so yeah, Nathan has a nice thought. He's hoping that his photo will inspire people to do other things in Christchurch, which is cool. I like that, Nathan. That's really nice. Feel free to send us some more photos and we'll show them next week. Extreme Talos says, see you in the next hour. He's coming back for the Patreon live session. Clay says they charge for parking. Yes, they do. MD's talking about the Epic Pass. Woke, like a light switch clicked on in the brain equal woke. Yeah, well, I couldn't really explain that. It says, like, you know, you're accepting of everybody, but that's the only thing I had. So I had to actually read the full definition to word it properly. I kind of got the notion, but not the... Yeah. Tamo says, just 1 day for recover. You are way too optimistic, Clay. Well, again, he has to deliver on the party. Maybe it's going to be doing nothing and you just need 1 day to literally sleep, like, you know, people do. Lawrence says, beside the frosty windshield, was there snow today? So we don't live on the ski field over there. So no, we don't usually have snow. We ever have snow? Like, did we ever have snow?
Yeah, it's very rare to have snow in the lower areas of New Zealand.
We've been living where we are for...
We've never had snow here.
No. We haven't had snow ever. So it's not really something that you will have. And even, to be fair, in New Zealand, there's rarely snow in actually cities and towns. It's usually kind of like in more like ski resorts and everything.
Yeah.
So you will have some snow in Queenstown, for example, but it's much higher in elevation.
It rarely snows actually in the town of Queenstown itself. It's usually, while it's raining in Queenstown in winter, you usually know that, the mountains are probably like nice fresh snow right now, so it's usually a good time to actually
we got a good video of snow in Queenstown for us when we went to do the bungee.
Oh, yes, that's true.
I know, for some reason. And that wasn't even in the season. That was just nonsense.
Yeah. That was like in October or something. So
I know.
Yeah, there are some exceptions to the rule.
There's always. There always.
Yeah, but yeah, snow in New Zealand, like, contrary to popular belief, it's not always like snow everywhere in New Zealand during winter. It is really just sort of contained to the mountain areas, and even towns near the mountains don't tend to get snow because they're usually much lower than where the activities are happening up on the mountains. So just bear that in mind.
And also something to keep in mind as well is that unless you're crossing like the Southern Alps and everything like that, it's not something that should scare you from traveling to New Zealand in winter as well. A lot of people are telling us, I'm scared about driving in the snow. I know, for example, Oyol, which may watch this rewatch right now, he's at a wedding, but not Natasha's wedding. All our Patreons are wedding fevers at the moment on Patreon. So Oyol is actually coming to New Zealand literally next week, like in 5 days. And he actually asked us if it would be hard to drive with snow conditions and all that. And not really. Like, you rarely encounter the snow in the country. And when you encounter it, it's usually really quick and it just passes us quickly.
Yeah.
Like, for example, during New Zealand's biggest gap year, you can see a video of us driving toward Karamea, and then it becomes like really kind of frosty and snowy and everything, and you know, it would only lasted for about an hour. So if you're really stressed about that, just don't drive in the snow. Stop, and you know, it probably will pass. And also, you see us in middle of October having plenty of snow in Queenstown, but you'll see that it was really thin by the time we finished our activities, and I finished being scared and breaking AJ's clock. Then got to watch that video of us bungee jumping in Queenstown. So after that, literally the snow was gone already and already melted by the end of doing a bungee and 3 rounds of luge. Yeah. So that was really just to be fair, it really wasn't lasting for too long.
The sun soon melts it away. on those freak weather days where there is snow and it's only snowy for one day, then it's probably all going to be melted by the time the sun gets on it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But also, if you're taking the plane as well, it's kind of cool to see all the mountain peak with the snow and everything. It's quite
Which,
nice.
by the way, Nathan says while I was flying down.
Yeah,
we'll go back.
Okay.
It just segued away from literally for what you just said.
Oh yeah, okay.
Which is while I was flying down to Christchurch from Roto Vegas, we could see Mount Ruapehu standing out with the clouds in full light.
Full flight,
with full flight. Oh, with full flight. I thought you were saying in the full light. Sorry. While I was flying down to Christchurch from Roto Vegas, we could see Mount Ruapehu standing out with the clouds with the full flight. You could see Mount Ruapehu from the flight.
Yes, did you see snow?
That's pretty cool.
Put it together.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So that was kind of related to what Robin was saying. Now we can go back to Clay.
All right, no, Clay, I just realized Clay is chatting with Tamo, and they just,
Okay.
Yeah, okay, they're just chatting. Lawrence is saying, my trip is planned for November, probably. No snow then. No, probably not snow. But I'd love to come in the winter too someday. Yeah, and genuinely, it will still be cheaper for you to do skiing and snowboarding here in New Zealand than it is in like the Aspens of the world. Obviously, or the, what's the one in Canada? In Vancouver. Whistler, here you go. All the Whistlers of the world. Lived over there for a year, forgot about it. Okay, and so yeah, it's still much cheaper, obviously, but it costs you $1,500 flight, so got to weigh those two options for sure. Clay says snow lower than 400 meter elevation is unusual, and town and roads above 400 isn't many. That's my thought anyway. That's extremely true. New Zealand population level usually lives way below 400 meters. We are a country with more coastline than anything, right?
Yeah.
I know everybody thinks of New Zealand with all those beautiful mountain landscape and everything, but we're mostly a country of massive coastlines, and what's bring usually heat is the temperature of the sea and hits the land, right? So most of the places that we live, we talk about Mount Ruapehu and everything, it is one of the furthest points from the coastline inland than any other places, right? So most places in the countries are very, very low level and therefore are really well heated by either the ocean or the Pacific Ocean or the Tasman Sea. Nathan says we could see snow on Mount Ruapehu from the window on the flight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Did you take a photo? I mean, that's the kind of photos you want to take. That is really nice.
Yeah.
This is the thing when you need to have your phone at the ready and be ready to take photo. And then you realize there is a damn wing always in there. One day, so one thing about flying. All right, so we do fly a lot and things like that. Obviously, we do write a lot of travel guides, and sometimes we need to reassure people. So we have flying safety, all those kind of things. We have a lot of articles, and so throughout doing research, you learn things and fun facts. And apparently, the safest place on the plane is when you're sitting just above the wings, right? So this is like the safest place in the plane. So when we book flights, there is always a fee to pay to be able to place yourself wherever you want to be placed in the plane. I really don't care, so I usually don't pay for that fee because we already add our own fees because we carbon offset all our flights and all that. But pretty much all the time, we end up being sitting on top of the wing. So I'm like, who are all those suckers that pay for specific spots but don't get the safest one? I think it's crazy. And every time I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm pretty lucky. I'm like on top of, yeah, that's nice. However, I realized that we always like to take a lot of photos when we're flying, and when we're landing at the airport and everything, we like to take some photos. And there's always a damn wing here. So I just wish that one day we get that really crappy seat all the way at the back of the plane, where literally you see pretty much nothing in the front or on the back, and I'd like to have that. Anyway, just one thing. One day, if the god of airline booking hears me, next time I book and I don't choose my seat, can you please put me all the way at the back of the plane? Because I think this is where all the donkeys should go, and so I'd like to not pay and be one of the donkey. Thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Thanks for that, Robin.
It's also the back of the plane is actually the tail of the plane is the most dangerous part. So who's paying to go to the most dangerous part? I don't get it.
Yeah. No, I don't either.
No.
I think people are just choosing the places with the most leg room, usually, aren't they? And places where they can all sit the family all together.
But you pay an extra fee for that, so it's
Yeah.
a different fee. Like you would pay $25 to get these things with the leg room, or you pay $10 to choose your seat.
Yeah.
You don't pay $10 plus $25.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I know. We have Robert Laliberte saying, a friend of mine skied in New Zealand. His comparison. It's hard to top the views in New Zealand for sure, but you can't beat the volumes of sweet, powdery snow that Quebec gets, and it's much cheaper to ski.
Yes, so no, I agree. Definitely, like when you will come to New Zealand to ski, so we're talking to Lawrence as well. Literally, most of the ski fields, you will have done every slopes by midday. Let's be honest, it's pretty much what it is, right? So there is a lot of repeats. Well, if you go like to Europe, so I'm comparing to Europe because that's more of my experience, or even to Whistler, like you can do like 2 days and you have done all the slopes and keep on going, right? So yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of like the volumes of snow, for sure, New Zealand has snowmaking machines. Like all their ski fields have snowmaking machines to get the ski fields open, on time for the ski season. So yeah, the conditions in New Zealand aren't always actually that great for skiing. In the morning, although they have groomed runs and stuff, in the mornings they're usually quite icy from overnight, and it takes till about 11 a.m. until it's all sort of softened up and it's nicer to ride on. In terms of conditions for skiing and snowboarding, New Zealand isn't always ideal, and you do have to be pretty confident for some icy sections, which can, be a little bit scary if you're not really that confident. Yeah.
All right. So Todd is asking an interesting question. Todd says, coming from the USA during your summer, Auckland, so starting in Auckland and ending in Queenstown, does your site, so nzpocketguide.com, shows the most scenic ways to drive from town to town? That's a really good question, because a lot of places that you travel to in the world, you try to get like scenic roads all the time and get the best spots, the best drive, because you know that the drives are going to be really long. Now, it's a little bit different than you used to in the USA, right? So in the US, you do have quite a lot of different ways to get to places. In New Zealand, it's pretty much like the one kind of road that you're going to be taking, and you can't really beat the views of New Zealand. No matter what, you won't be able to beat it. It looks like you've been driving all through the central Northland. You're going to absolutely love it, but there's not really like 20 million different options, and even we have a lot of people that plan just on looking at the map, and there's the State Highway 1. I'm going to go down State Highway 1. Is it just going to be just one boring highway all the way? Absolutely not. Actually, something interesting, we actually have a video on this channel where we went live for the entire drive all the way from Auckland all the way down to Taupo, and we took literally like State Highway 1 for the whole time. I don't think we straight off at any point yet. Yeah. So we took State Highway 1 for the entire time, and you'll see that very quickly it's only one, like just one way in, one way out, and that is pretty much it, right? So State Highway 1 is just a classic, normal, like really country road that you will think in the US. Yeah, single lane, that's what I want to say. Single lane. So you don't necessarily have a million different options. So I think that you should plan your trip more like around the destinations you want to go to, and no matter what, the drives are going to be stunning. As soon as you leave Auckland, the drives are going to be spectacular for sure. Yeah. Now, as per like specific road that you definitely should be driving when you do your trip, like if you can get one of the pass, like Lindy's Pass, Arthur Pass, Lewis Pass, somewhere on the South Island, they're usually pretty exceptional, and they're the road that you may not do if you decide to do a loop around the South Island. You may miss one of the passes. Those ones are pretty exceptional passes. But aside from that, genuinely just go with where your destination is going and take that road, and that'll be fine. So it's a slightly different ways to plan your trip. Like when I was traveling in the US, definitely like we were looking at where do we which road do we want to take, not really here in New Zealand, if that helps, Todd. But feel free to ask follow-up questions.
Just there is actually something the New Zealand sort of transport agency and tourism have worked on together, which is actually establishing scenic routes in New Zealand, so that they, like for instance, there's the volcanic loop route in the North Island and Surf Highway 45. So there are some routes that actually have names. There's also like the Pacific Coast Highway as well, the Southern Scenic Route in the South Island. So there are some names of routes that are with some sort of icons that are signposted on that route on the side of the road, so you can see, you can tell that you are sticking to that route type thing. So if that was a way that you prefer to plan your trip, then there are certainly roads that are available to do that. Not all of them necessarily take you to hotspots or destinations. They're more places to take you a little bit more off the beaten track and taking you to maybe some more scenic alternatives around New Zealand, but it's not necessarily, the top destinations that people tend to want to go to. So yeah, if you wanted to look at some side scenic roads that you could take, then there certainly are some options. We do have them listed.
I'm about to. Can I jump?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I am going... No, that's the wrong one. Sorry about that. I'm going to go right here on NZ Pocket Guide for you, mate. And I'm going to go and I'm on the search box right here. I'm going to type beautiful road. You can even put an S if you want. I'm too lazy. So if you search... also it's better if you actually type it correctly. Without a typo. And you have the 10 most beautiful roads in New Zealand that we listed and places that we think is definitely worth the road trip. I will actually put the link in the live chat right now for everybody. And so on there we have like really some roads that we really think are really, really awesome and they're definitely worth driving if you have a chance to drive them. You obviously probably won't be able to make them all. Oh, look at this idiot right here. So yeah, you probably won't have the time to do them all during your one trip, but if you can include like one or two of those, and you'll see that some of them are already probably on your itinerary, maybe some really good options. There you go, we're back with Laura.
Yeah, so just to add to that.
I know that's what you were about to talk about.
No,
okay.
It wasn't, but that's a good addition. It's actually, we do have some articles that we did do quite a while ago, which are the scenic routes on the North Island and the scenic routes on the South Island. Just those routes that I was talking about before, which are... they're established by the New Zealand Transport Agency, so it's kind of like a government thing. So if you were interested in seeing where those routes go, we do have articles on nzpocketguide.com, which are the most scenic routes in the South Island and most scenic routes on the North Island. Which...
Okay, I will find it. I'm going to find them.
It might be in like the road trip section. I don't actually know which section they'll be in, but... Robin is on the case.
We're having so many issues. It is annoying me to no end. Boom. South Island Scenic Routes. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's a North Island equivalent, which might be linked to from that article.
I know. I just can't find by typing just the word Scenic Routes, which drives me nuts. We are still having issues with the search stuff. We thought it was fixed, but I'm giving you some links in the live chat right now to help out. But
yeah.
Oh, it makes me so angry. Okay. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, so here we go. Lots of links.
All right, 3 links for you, mate. All right, sorry about that, Todd. I got grumpy just because I hate when things are buggy. Like we're having so many issues with the search on our site. I don't understand why. I'm typing scenic routes and I don't find the South Island Scenic Routes and the North Island Scenic Routes article on top. If anyone is WordPress minded and can come and help me, please come and help.
This is
it drives me nuts. It drives me bonkers. Literally, I've been on that for like 2.5 months now, and it's buggy on all of our site. It drives me bonkers. All right.
Clay says Cromwell is the farthest from the sea. Fun fact of the day.
Nice. I like that. So yeah, we are one of them, but yeah, I think he said that before. Yeah.
So then Cromwell is in the South Island.
Yes, it has big apples.
Yes, it does, literally. Tamo says, I always select seats to the back end of the plane under the window so the wings won't interrupt my view and I can also see the plane's engine and flap setting.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, well, hopefully next time, as I said, the God is going to put me with you and the donkey, apparently, because, that's the least safe place on the plane. Shouldn't want that one. No, like plane are unsafe, to be quite fair. All right, what is Anthony saying?
Anthony says, Morena, sorry I'm late.
Oh, no.
No worries, Anthony. We're always glad to have you with us, even if you do make it a little bit late. As long as you say your signature phrases, we shall be happy.
Morena from Rodeo, California. Here you go.
Yes. Lawrence is replying to Tamo, saying, I do that too, but only so I don't have to deal with people walking by me, and I've heard that they were the safest seats.
What? I've heard the complete opposite.
Controversy.
We need more plane crash so we can gather data. There you go.
Yeah. I
Hot
don't want to be
take.
part of that sample pool. Clay says, not sure I like seeing the wings after flying over the Andes mountains with lots of turbulence. I didn't realize how flexible they are.
I've seen that often. Yeah. It's
Looks
kind
like
of
a
funny.
bird flapping.
Yeah. It definitely is like that. Definitely.
Yikes.
We had a really fun flight when we were in the Cook Islands flying from Rarotonga to Aitutaki. There was a lot of jumping, and it was a very small plane. The smaller the plane, the more it bumps.
Yeah.
There was a lot of bumping.
Yeah. I think the gnarliest plane flight I've done is actually between Wellington and Nelson. So going from like the North Island to the South Island, because in that instance it was actually cheaper to fly than to take the ferry for just one person with like a backpack. And yeah, I remember like seeing the air hostess like at the front of the plane, because they're quite small planes, where they try and keep their face, they try and keep their face looking happy, customer service friendly, yeah, while holding on. It was so funny. So yeah, that's just one example of a bit of a crazy flight, but we made it in the end, so it was fine.
All right, Lauren says, well, not to be grim, but when a plane crashes, the idea is that the furthest you are from the nose, the better. I hope I never have to put that theory to the test. Yeah, I hope you never have to put that theory to the test either. Yeah.
Us too.
It was just a joke, and let's just touch on wood. We have a nice wood table right here. We're just going to touch some wood. Here you go. MD says, quickly, off the beaten path.
Quirky.
Oh, quirky. Yeah, that's true. That's the better word. Quirky, off the beaten path places you can point out.
Well, Robin just mentioned one before, which was Karamia.
Yeah.
At the top of the west coast of the South Island. It is a very quirky place. There's the community there are kind of all sort of like sustainability minded, but they have some really awesome natural attractions nearby.
Like the Opara Arches.
Opara Arches, the largest limestone arch in Australasia.
Nice.
Really cool natural
Another
attraction.
quirky place. I don't know if it's really off the beaten path, because I think it's on State Highway 1. But it's Taihape. It's on the northern end, and when you drive in, everybody's like taking a double take. They're like, is that a giant gum boot? And there's a giant actually rubber boot. Made of corrugated iron when you drive in, and people are like, this is nonsense.
And if you explore the town further, you can find a gumboot throwing lane. So this is basically
we have a video of us doing that.
Yeah. There's a sports field area which is dedicated to gumboot throwing competitions. And for those of you that aren't maybe familiar with the word gumboot, in other words, they're Wellingtons, or basically those rubber boots that you wear when you're farming.
Farmer's boots, yeah.
Yeah. So they have
Wellingtons.
competitions for throwing them as far as they can, and there's actually a field set up for that.
And you can see us with a German guy doing that, because for some reason we do these kind of things.
Yeah, so search on YouTube Taihape, which maybe Robin can spell out how you spell that on the chat.
Happy to do that.
Taihape, NZ Pocket Guide. Search that on YouTube.
We have to stop giving them homework, by the way. MG has like 3 homeworks now. Come on, mate.
Sorry, guys. But check out that video and you'll see how quirky that town is.
Yeah.
Any other quirky places that you can think of?
Tuatapere. Tuatapere is around the Fiordland National Park. It is the sausage capital of New Zealand. That's all I'm going to say. We have a video of that as well.
Yeah, I think also Reefton, also in the South Island. It has a sort of gold mining sort of history, which they've preserved in the buildings and stuff there. But it's just a really random town with some quite funky things to see. It's just it's very random, that town, but it's got quite a few fun things to see. It's also the town that was first introduced electricity to the public.
You can see the first light bulb.
Yeah, you can go there and see the first light bulb, and it's electricity introduced to the public in the southern hemisphere, I do believe. So yeah, they have a little claim to fame there as well, which is quite interesting.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Violet Zulu says, good morning. Today I'm late. We are experiencing another load shed blackout.
Oh, no.
How much did I miss today? Oh, that seems to happen really often at the moment for you, Violet. What did you miss? Nathan Bates finally made it to Christchurch and sent us some photos of things he's doing in Christchurch. We talked about the ski field, snow sports, all these kind of things quite extensively. We talk about driving around New Zealand in ski field. We talk a lot about plane safety for some reason.
Yeah. Scenic routes around.
Scenic routes, yeah. Todd was asking about that.
Talking about roads to take around New Zealand that
Yeah.
are scenic.
So yeah, just nothing that's not worth a quick rewind. And we also have the question of the day. So make sure to answer the question of the day. We have about
12 more minutes.
Yeah, 12 more minutes of show, so about 7 more minutes of you voting on that. The question of the day is, what mainly draws you toward visiting New Zealand? What's the reason? Why are you coming to New Zealand? For the nature, the food, the culture, or for us? No, it's not. We're not on there. No, okay, it's something else. The
Sorry,
nature,
I
the
was
food,
just-
the culture, or the activities. Here you go. That's the other one.
Yeah.
That was the last one on the list.
I was just reading Clay's comment and I was just trying to understand it, but I do understand it now. So Clay says, we'll just wait a second.
Oh no, there may be an ad for you guys. Enjoy. If there's a little slowdown like that, I can see there's an ad.
Did you ever hear from that guy again? The one that you do the walk to the lookout, right? So that's when we go to Taihape.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, we do see him later in the South Island in another random town called Geraldine. That is quite close to.
I don't think we filmed that we see him.
Yeah,
Oh,
we probably don't. We don't capture him on camera when we see him again.
Oh, look, a white German.
Yeah. So yeah, we do see him in the South Island, which is quite interesting. It's like you do find that when you're traveling around New Zealand, say you're taking a year or even a month or something, like a longer trip in New Zealand, you do tend to come across people that you've met on other sides of the country, and that's always quite fun. If you especially if you're staying in like hostels and things, you're staying in the similar sorts of accommodations throughout the country, then that does happen quite often. But since then, we haven't seen that guy, and
When we saw him in Geraldine, he said he was going in a pub crawl in Dunedin next, and then we never seen him again. I don't know why. I'm joking.
yeah. So but since that day, we haven't seen him, and well, this is a shout out to that guy if he's watching.
Yes. Do you remember
We
his
can't
name?
remember his name.
No? It's on the video. It's on the video. Oh, mate, you're asking something like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember all
So
that.
Clay says Geraldine of all places. Yeah.
I like Geraldine. I think it doesn't have a good rap. Geraldine's really cool.
Is
it's
like,
really nice.
It is really the underdog because of towns in the South Island, because nearby is actually quite some really cool adventure activities. They have the Rangitata River, so like one of the best whitewater rafting in the country. They have amazing canyoning tours. They even have stargazing tours, llama and alpaca farms. I mean, hello.
Who doesn't like the alpaca? Very, very cute. Traditional New Zealand.
I know, traditional New Zealand alpacas. And yeah, they have quite a few different things nearby. We went on a really cool walk nearby Geraldine as well, a bit of a short hike up a mountain somewhere. Geraldine does have some interesting things to do. It's not to be looked down on.
No.
Anyway, no.
No. Geraldine's awesome.
Anthony Comstock is here with his signature phrase, which is, I guess I better say, my catchphrase, stay safe, but I'm here till the end.
All right, guys. So all of those live sessions, as well as nzpocketguide.com, could not be done without the support of our amazing Patreon subscribers. They get themselves awesome perks for small amount of money every month. They get access to a secret Facebook group where we hang out all the time. We talked about it quite a fair amount actually during this live show as well as our help to plan your itinerary in the country, which is really awesome. And Laura left while she's not on screen, so I'm gonna come back and be alone. So if you want to join us on Patreon, there is a link in the description of this video. You don't have to stay with us for an entire year. You can stay with us for 1 month and then be gone. You get access to also some PDF guide that we've done for the country, so that's pretty cool. And as Laura is sitting back down, I am done telling you about Patreon. But yeah, join us then. It's really awesome. And there's an extra hour of this literally happening in 8 minutes again because of our Patreon subscribers. So if you're on Patreon, join us then. Hey Laura, you back? It's like you never left.
Well, I didn't leave. I've been here the whole time.
No, yeah, of course you have.
There's no evidence of that.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
What doesn't happen on camera, that doesn't happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was here the whole time. Tamo says, Geraldine, I think I will drive through it in my trip. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Do.
If you are into whitewater rafting, maybe you can do the whitewater rafting trip over there. It's pretty gnarly. I like it.
Yeah, I hope it's open by the time you do your trip, though. It has been
currently
closed
not doing
during
it, yeah.
COVID, and not sure when they're opening back up. They haven't really announced it yet.
Yeah, hopefully they do.
Yeah, Clay says when we've done the trip up the west coast up to Owakuni, there was a family stopping at a place we were taking photos. I made a point of photo bombing them each time.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of funny when you travel around New Zealand. So Todd, we were talking about you were talking about like what's the best route and everything. Quite often you don't have too much of a choice of which road you're taking. So if on your day you decide to drive from point A to point B and there is other people that do the same thing, you're kind of going to see those people kind of all the time. So sometimes you're going to be stopped at a place, then you're going to stop at the place. So the first time is like a nice no, the second one is not with the biggest smile, and then at the end of the day, literally, you feel like you know those guys, you've done the same trip that day, which is kind of entertaining. and if you end up in the especially in the Southland, in many places, you don't have that much choices of accommodation. You're probably going to be staying in the same holiday park, in the same hotel, in the same hostel or backpackers. So it's depending on, your travel style and, the way you're doing it. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of fun.
Tamo says there's a museum of vintage machines. Yes, in Geraldine there is a museum.
Oh wow, I missed it.
Unfortunately, we did miss that one, and I don't know why, but it wasn't the first attraction that came to my mind when listing the things to do there.
Yeah, didn't we do a horse trek over there as well?
Yeah, the Peel Forest horse trekking
we done whitewater rafting, horse trekking. How did we miss the vintage machinery museum, Laura?
I don't know how we did
Terrible
that.
planning.
But it is certainly a thing to do in Geraldine as well. So yeah, if you're into your vintage cars, vintage machines, that sort of thing, Geraldine's your place also.
Nice.
MD says, gonna go watch some of your videos now. I'll be leaving comments. Stay warm. Thanks
Make
for
sure
joining
that
us,
some
MD.
of you comments out the fire emoji, please. I don't need anything to warm us up right now. So yeah, please comment a lot of fire emojis.
And then MD says, Elven Magic.
Here you go.
Lol.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to close the question of the day. That's what I'm doing. End the poll, and then while I end the poll, I put the logo. Question of the day. Woo. Question of the day. You be voting. Question of the day. It's your choice. Question of the day. Woo.
You have a choice.
You have a choice. All right, so the question of the day today was, what is the main thing that makes you want to visit New Zealand? Number one, overwhelmingly, the nature at 83%. That's the biggest blowout we've ever had on any of the questions we've ever asked you.
Yeah.
Then the activities at 9%, the culture at 6%, the food at 0%. Take your pie home, you Kiwis. This is not interesting for people. The nature landscape is what's winning. Nice. I tend to agree with that. I felt like the answer would be that, but just kind of like wanting to gauge it a little bit.
Considering we do get a lot of questions from people about the food in New Zealand, but maybe that's more because they know the nature is good.
The nature's a no-brainer, and so they're like, well, what's the rest?
It's like, what else do I do? Yeah. And then MD says, cloak of invisibility.
Invisible clock. What time is it?
Yeah, we play, no. Let's not do this. Let's not do that joke. Yeah. Nathan says, stay safe and keep warm for the rest of the day.
Oh, nice emojis. I like that, Nathan. Thank you very much. Have fun in Christchurch. You're gonna have a blast at the wildlife park, at the Orana Wildlife Park. It's gonna be nice. Tamo says 0%. Weet-Bix isn't popular. Well, I've been making that point for a while now. Okay, that has been established.
Yeah.
Weet-Bix is not popular. You guys voted 0%. So yeah, no, I agree with that. Coolio. The other thing that I haven't done today is that I haven't given the award of the best name of the day. So anyone has a fun username, come on, comment right now. There is like 3 minutes for you to comment right now. Wow, 25 of you have clicked like. You guys are absolutely awesome.
Thanks, guys. Let's have a scroll up for the usernames.
For the username? Okay.
Yeah. But if you do have a really funky username, people...
Comment now. You have like 2 seconds.
Chance.
Yeah. Okay, scroll back up.
Anybody new? Anybody... different, quirky names.
I mean, MD, but I think
it's not quirky enough.
Yeah, it's not MD is just 2 letters, mate. We need other names.
We need a name that's more than 2 letters.
Yes. Alright, well, that's okay. We don't have to give the award every week then. Lawrence Lisa says, Marmite isn't exciting people either, I guess. No! Exactly! You are making my point. I love it. Tamo says, seems to be a silly user. Alright, fine. You know what Tamo needs it.
Fine.
Right.
You have it, Tamo.
Tamo. Wait, I need to remove that.
Wait,
I need to remove this. It's happening.
bear
3,
with.
2, 1. Oh, this is going to be a surprise. That's going to be like, what? What's happening? Oh my god. The music started. Well, Tamo's got the best username. Woo. Tamo gets it. Best username. Woo. The music is still going. And the music is over. Boom. Tamo got the best username award of this week. Why not?
Congratulations,
Yes,
Tamo.
yes. You can take this one to the bank.
He says, finally!
Yes. I expect to see that on your CV. It has to be on. When I give an award, I expect to see it on people's CV.
So you expect him to give you a CV? Do you want him to apply for a job?
Well, I need somebody to apply for a job. Fixing search bar on NZ Pocket Guide. I need somebody to apply for a job. I need some help with that.
Yeah.
That's my call out to people. All right, in the meantime, thank you very much for hanging out with us for another hour. I hope that, around all the nonsense right here, you guys found some useful information to plan your trip to New Zealand. If you didn't, and if you still have some pending burning questions, you can join us every week at 8 a.m. New Zealand time. And we are going to be hanging out. And as we did, read all the comments and answer your questions. If you can't make it because this time frame is not working for you, it is okay. Put your question in the comments of any of our videos, and I'm always lurking around answering pretty much every comment. We're pretty good on that. And otherwise you can head to nzpocketguide.com. I showed the site during the live session, and it's entirely free, and there's thousands and thousands of articles to help you plan your trip to New Zealand. It's not just a saying, there's actually multiple thousands of articles on the site. There's really a lot. It's an encyclopedia of traveling in New Zealand, and we're working really hard keeping it up to date for you. All right, this is wrapping it us today. Laura, word of the day.
Bye
Bye, guys.
Fabric.
Bye.
Is the word of the day.
Took you by surprise on this one.
Yeah, no, I didn't want to say banana because I said that last week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.